So hi, and you are welcome to Boma and Boma. You are so highly loved for joining our page today. And as I told you, it's a history recap, and I have something lovely for you. I call it a testimony because I'm a Christian, and it's like a breakthrough. And I say it's also psychological because going under training to be a psychologist very soon. And so there are these two that really works out for me in my situation. You see how I'm talking fluently and expressing myself without any stops or pausing or any kind of abnormality in my speech. I want you to know it wasn't like this years back. Actually, I was a starter, or another word for starter means stammering. I was a stammerer, so I used to have difficulty in speaking, like involuntary difficulties, and I used to repeat words or a phrase or a sentence. There was that kind of anxiety when speaking, and I used not to speak well. For example, if I want to mention a word like acrobatic, I'll go like acrobatic, and it comes with the blinking of the eye, shaking of the head. All these kinds of symptoms was like not healthy for me. Okay, and growing up was so tough that other kids could speak very well, express themselves, and go about with things they wanted to do, whilst you were mostly quiet. Because when you want to talk, everyone would just have to keep quiet, and there'll be silence everywhere for you to talk like some queen is talking. And I was so shy about it. So I used to fight a lot in school. I'm sure my parents understood why, because most of the times I was being teased at, and that really got me angry. So I had to deal with anger issues. And there's one thing about stammering: people who stutter have this kind of anger that can't be expressed. It's like you are trying to deal with the fact that you are being embarrassed every time you want to talk, and also you are trying to understand what is happening to you and why you can talk the way other kids are talking, and also having to fight back at when other kids are making fun of you. It's a whole lot to do with people who stutter. Scientists are still trying to figure out why this is happening, like why people stutter, and there are some factors like genetics. Of course, my dad was stuttering, my brother too. For my dad, it was so annoying. Okay, like you were under punishment, like when you were being disciplined, and he had to talk out before you were released, or sometimes when you were being caned and he beat you through speaking. Sorry, he will be he will beat you through speaking. You can just you could just die. Okay. And so I think one thing I learned from my dad was that he read quite a lot. He read a whole lot. He was a man of knowledge. He read so much, and we were always filled with knowledge every time. Before we go to bed, he shared stories, and it's amazing. When my dad was preaching in church, the stutter reduced. When he was singing, the stutter reduced. It's amazing how stuttering is. I can't explain it very well because it's a mystery, And so that is what I also adapted. I started reading a whole lot of books that were in my father's trunk. That were the books I started reading. And I even, had this book, Every Woman. I was even in the junior high school. I saw a word like orgasm. I'm like, what is orgasm? Orgasm. And throughout the senior high school, my seniors were always borrowing my books. That are like, look at your age and the books you're reading. So this actually made me fluent with the white man's language, and that's how I kind of like learned to express myself. and I spoke English more than the local dialect, because there were some words in the Fafa dialect that I can't mention. It's like my jaws are still trying to figure out, how to mention that word and those kinds of words. So I'm mostly at the safe side, just speaking English all the time. Um, One thing that I had to deal with growing up was the fact that I had to learn how to control my anger. Okay, so the reason is that many people who knows us go like, Boma likes smiling, but Bono has a straight face. Well, Bono hasn't gotten any speaking disability, because it's like stuttering is like some kind of a childhood development. Okay, and it can also be a disorder, like a speaking disorder, and from 2 to 5 years some children can start it because they are learning how to speak. But when it becomes chronic, this can even lead to adulthood. Now mine was chronic because I had it throughout my basic school, my junior high school, and even some part of the senior high school. Okay, and it's because I was still trying to find myself. I was still trying to get the safe place. Later on, I realized that I needed to be a happy person. I needed to find reasons to smile. I realized that when I was happy and I was talking and I was excited, I didn't have any issues stuttering. But anytime I was serious, I had a straight face, I engaged in a fight, and the most saddening thing or disheartening thing about stuttering is when someone curses you and you're trying to fight back, and then you are asked to explain yourself and you are just like and the person quickly lies about everything, and you are asked to say sorry when you were not the one who started the whole thing. You get it? And so I had a safe place. I was able to keep a happy face, and I had to work this inside. Happiness is a thing inside, not just out there. So most of the times I was keeping a smiling face. I had something new to share, like keeping myself diligent in order not to stutter. So I easily cut people off, especially people who are able to get me to that extent, like getting me that angry where I can talk. So anyone who goes like Ophelia has a quick temper, and those kind of people are not my friends. I can keep you as a friend because you would have to do something to get me that quick tempered. You get it? So I hate to see myself not being able to talk. I hate to find myself in a situation where I have all these years fought to bring myself out, and because of certain people I'd find myself there. So that's how I easily cut people off, because I don't want to get angry and not being able to talk. Come on, who would want such a lady like me to speak so fluently and so nicely like this? That would be a devil. Okay, so yeah, I was able to work that out by being happy and creating that ambience, like a canopy above me, and always being in a safe place. There's this thing that people do when you start out, which is not a good habit. I think people need to stop it. This thing that when you're trying to go like, I want a, and like you're making a sound like a pen, and they go like, you want a pen? Please don't complete a starter speech or phrase or word. It's not nice. And another thing could also be like following your eyes when like a starter is talking. You go like, I went to the to the market, and you try to follow. It's not the best. Just be relaxed and listen to them talk. Like you would never know humans do not have patience until you were once a starter. When I was a starter, I realized that people don't have patience at all. They just can't wait for you to finish stressing to talk. They always want to complete your sentence for you. And then one thing is when people tease at you, like when you are speaking and then they are laughing, and when you finish and they try to repeat what you're saying, it's killing. Okay, it's brokenness when people tease at others who stutter. It's not the best. So if you have someone close to you who stutters, maybe at work, at school, home, office, anywhere, maybe your son, your daughter, your wife, your husband, learn to be patient with them and support them, especially children who stutters. It has to do with their self-esteem and self-confidence. If you don't support them, if you don't give them that safe environment, it will really affect them to their adulthood, and they would have this low self-esteem, thinking that they have some cursed disease upon their heads. Now, how did I treat my stutter? How did I overcome my stutter? I don't know how. Sometimes that's why I call it a testimony, because my mom constantly prayed against this. Okay, when we're having a family meeting, she would say, Ophelia, open your mouth and tell God you don't want to stutter, that you are a lady with like capabilities and you're going to do something great for God. So he should take this stuttering out of you to do his work. My mom constantly prayed for me. When I was going to school, she would hold my hand, pray for me at night. Even after we have prayed, she will still come to the bed and pray that this is not yours. And I want like a prayer, like wherever it's coming from, take it back to sender, knowing very well that my dad was a starter. You know, so, and my brother too, you get it. And like testimonially, I would just say it went, like I can't even trace it. And I said that psychologically, because I had to work my way out. I had to, like, the identity, the self-identity here is very important. Knowing that you stutter and then finding ways and means to reduce your stuttering. That is how it happened for me. Okay, so I never had any low self-esteem or low self-confidence, because I didn't speak, and anytime I did, I made my friends laugh. Those who know me knows I'm a comedian. I try to joke and goof all around. People would laugh, you know. And so that is just one thing about learning how to overcome stuttering psychologically. Other kids in like mostly developed world would go for speech therapy and language therapy, like CBT therapy, in order to come off stuttering. But there's no really defined meaning to stuttering. Scientists are still having underlining definitions for it, or the cause of it. Some go like, is the sensory motor causes of that, you know. But it's a whole lot, it's a mystery, and it is only God who can solve this. So in short or in long, this is what I have to tell you, that I was a starter. You know, I can speak very fast the way I want, I can rap, I can sing, I can do anything that I want. That is just the most amazing thing. I can speak slowly or medium, like I'm always doing to you. And now I'm so happy, I'm relieved. Like, who could have thought quite a lady like me would suffer to talk? But God is like, no, you should speak fluently. And so I can be a journalist if you ask me, because I used to read news on Tanga Radio, make all kinds of streamline, like produce other, I used to produce a whole lot on Tanga Radio. So I love talking. I'm so happy and I'm proud of myself that I've been able to overcome this. And even though because I shared it with you, you would never have known that I was a starter before. It's timing, and it's how one is able to work through any situation. You get it? So thank you so much for listening to Boma and Boma, and continue to share. We love all of you who are sharing, making sure that you invite people and commenting. We love you so much. Keep doing that for us to reach a larger audience. Bye.